Can anybody hear me since their boardroom's not responding?
Good morning. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, you guys are unmuted now. I see them. I was just checking, Michael, if it's okay to start.
Absolutely, we are ready to go.
Okay, cool. Welcome everyone to the December 13th, 2023 Mine Land Reclamation Board meeting. My name is Nell Wareham Morris. I will be chairing today's meeting. We'll do a quick roll call. Mr. Mock?
Present.
Ms. Nelson?
Present.
Mr. Ortiz?
Present.
Mr. Baker, I don't believe was going to make it this month. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Ms. Stiegelmeyer?
Present.
And Mr. Redmond?
Present.
All right. Everybody's there. Great. We'll get things kicked off with an approval of the November 2023 summary of minutes.
I move to approve the minutes as they stand.
I second with one little typo, which is Becky Mitchell's name had an extra E on the end of it.
All right.
I'll get that fixed before I send a mail.
Great catch. Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
No opposed. Okay. The minutes are approved. We did have a change to the agenda yesterday, so there is actually an item in the continuances and withdrawals, depending on which version of the agenda you have. So item number 5 has been withdrawn. I do believe we need to vote on that, Chuck. Okay, so a motion to approve the withdrawal of item number 5, which was file number M-1988018.
So moved, Tim Mock.
Thanks. Second?
Second, Nelson.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, none opposed. The approval of the withdrawal of item number 5. Let's move on to a report from the Executive Director's Office. Mr. Cunningham, take it away. Oh no, I'm sorry. I wrote Cunningham and then I wrote Mock in my notes. Mr. Mock, take it away.
We'll try not to be offended.
Sorry, I know.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Acting Director Cunningham. Just want to wish everybody a happy holiday season here. Tim Mock, Deputy Director with the Department of Natural Resources. State Land Board's meeting today and the Colorado Commission on Indian Affairs are meeting tomorrow. The General Assembly commences Wednesday, December 10th. So we are busy preparing for the legislative season here that will run through May. Last week, DNR had its JBC hearing regarding the budget. Went very well. You can listen in from the General Assembly's website, and we are in the middle of scheduling our SMART Act presentation to the legislature in the next couple of weeks. Just a couple other updates here. Parks and Wildlife, as I think everybody's seen in the news, are in the throes of reintroducing wolves by December 31st. And so far, they are on time. The Water Availability Task Force has been renamed the Water Conditions Monitoring Committee. The WCMC will continue to meet monthly, monitor, and provide updates on conditions that affect Colorado's water supply, including the snowpack reservoir storage, stream flow, historical climate norms, long-term precipitation and temperature outlook, climate variations, and flood conditions. Their next meeting will take place in 2024. We are also putting the final touches on a couple of studies, reports that will be released at the beginning of the new year here. One, a state pollinator study. We appreciate the DRMS did participate in that study, and I appreciate that feedback. And then we've got a wildfire mitigation assessment that with the new money coming in for wildfire mitigation in light of some of the recent exceptional fires that we experienced in Colorado over the past couple of years. The state legislature wanted to make sure that we are in a good organizational state to manage these conditions. And then the trail to Fisher's Peak at Fisher's Peak State Park has been opened and completed. We have seen some strong attendance at the park since Governor Polis hiked that trail back on November 19th. Obviously, this will still take quite a few years before we are transformed, or until we have transformed the former private ranch into a modern state park with full amenities such as a visitor center, campgrounds, equestrian facilities, road, electricity, and other infrastructure. And then just a little bit of happy news if you're over by the Capitol there. The holiday tree this year was cut down by State Forest Service foresters, and the crew from Fort Collins Field Office basically transported that down to Denver. The tree came from the State Forest owned forest in Larimer County. And that concludes my remarks. If there's any questions, I would welcome them. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? All right, now Mr. Cunningham.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board, good morning. Just want to start off with a little bit of news from the Inactive Mines program. As we had previously shared, we started a project out at the Bluebird Satanic Mine located in Jefferson County. That project's underway. The Inactive Mines program has completed their investigatory drilling, found a rather large void below the surface, and that's going to be a focus of the remediation this summer. So now that we're complete with that, they'll move into the design phase and should be out there with contractors by summer of 2024. And so we're just excited to be able to apply those IIJA funds. This is really going to be one of the first projects that we're working on. So it's great to see those moving forward. On the active mine side of things, just wanted to note that on December 4th, had the pleasure of attending the Colorado Association of Conservation Districts annual meeting in Colorado Springs. And at that conference it was just an opportunity to interface with the different conservation districts, provide an overview of our division and what we do, and more importantly, talk about the notifications that we send to them and how we can improve our communication and transparency. This was actually one of our division goals in the DNR performance plan. One of our wildly important goals was increasing the amount of feedback we get from agencies that we notice. So I think we had a really good discussion. We got some good feedback from the folks that were in attendance. We'll be looking to continue that conversation with the association to try to incorporate the districts into our e-permitting system. I think that's something we're a little bit behind on, but it's something we can easily address, and that will help put these notifications in their hand a little bit quicker and hopefully improve the nature of the comments that we get back. Because of course the conservation districts have a lot of valuable technical expertise, and we would like to hear from them. And the last thing I'll note is the division is having our holiday party tomorrow with our staff. Every year we get together, we do a potluck, we do a white elephant gift exchange. It's a great time. I think probably my favorite part though is we give out service awards to our staff. So this year we'll be giving out a number of service awards for 5, 10, 15, and even a few folks that have hit their 20-year mark. Which is incredible. We love to acknowledge that. I think a lot of the hard work and important work we do here is reflective of our dedicated employees who have been here for quite a long time. And that concludes my report. Happy to take any questions.
Can I make a quick statement just to add on to what Mr. Cunningham said? At the same time last week, we had the State Conservation Board meeting, and there was mostly an additional commitment from that side, from the conservation districts, to try and make substantial comments and have greater interaction with all of the reporting and or information that's sent out from mine land. I think there's kind of been, each conservation district is slightly different, but the state board made a commitment to try and help all the districts with greater interaction with Mineland.
That's fantastic.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, thanks for those reports. So we do not have anything on the consent agenda. Item number 4, we mentioned that item number 5 was withdrawn. So moving along to number 6, this is an enforcement hearing, file M number 2023-031. I see Elliot Russell on the line. Is there anyone that we need to swear in this case, Mr. Russell?
I'll swear in, but the operator is not going to be here today.
Okay, thank you. You swear to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Take it away.
All right, let me pull up my screen share. How does that look? Good morning, members of the Mineland Reclamation Board and Madam Chair. I'm Elliot Russell with the Division of Reclamation, Mining and Safety. Today's enforcement hearing is for Michael Brown's Wildcat claim, file number M 2023-031, for failure to first obtain a reclamation permit from the Mineland Reclamation Board before engaging in a new mining operation. Starting off with a brief chronology, on August 25th, 2023, the division received a citizen complaint on a possible unpermitted mining operation. This was followed up on the 28th with some photos of the activity. The complainant was alleging that Mike Brown Excavating was removing material from a parcel located in Teller County. On September 27th, the division inspected the unpermitted operation located approximately 3 miles northeast of Cripple Creek. The division observed an excavated area approximately 1 acre in size. Through discussions with Michael Brown, approximately 20 dump trucks of road-based material left the site and was transported to various projects for his company, as well as another parcel owned by Michael Brown. On November 6th, the division mailed the inspection report and the reason to believe a violation exists letter to the operator. Again, this site is located in Teller County, indicated by that red star. Here's a picture showing the proximity to Cripple Creek as well as Divide. This is located just south of Highway 67 in an area called Gillette Flats. Slide 5 is the inspection map that was included in the inspection report. Here shows the GPS data that was collected in red, showing the 1 acre excavation area. Michael Brown had provided the division with a site grading plan that was prepared by Art Braun with Braun Environmental Incorporated. He had contracted with Art to prepare the site plan to present to Teller County to determine if a grading plan was needed. Mike was wanting to construct a large flat pad to someday build a shop and to park some of his excavating equipment on for his business. The county indicated that no grading permit was needed and to contact him once they get closer to constructing the building. Perhaps a building permit was needed. On this site plan I've indicated that on this map, the blue line is kind of the pad area limits, and then the yellow line is the disturbance limits that is planned. Here's a UAV photo of the site during the inspection. In the middle of the screen there is the start of the large flat pad, and Mike had stripped some topsoil and stockpiled that in various areas, 2 on the south side and then one up top above the cut slope. Here's another image. Mike had indicated the elevation of the pad was approximately where the front end loader was parked. And this project would generate excess material, which then he would be utilizing in his company offsite. Slide 9 is a picture on top of the excavation looking down towards kind of that product stockpile and to the south there. Going over some definitions. So CRS 34, 32, 103, 13 defines a mining operation as the development or extraction of construction material from its natural occurrence on affected land. Construction material is defined in the act as rock, clay, silt, sand, gravel, limestone, dimensional stone, marble, or shale extracted for the use of production of non-metallic construction products. And affected land is the surface of an area within the state where a mining operation is being or will be conducted, which surface is disturbed as a result of an operation. Given these definitions, the excavation created by Michael Brown is considered a mining operation, and the land that has been disturbed is considered affected land. The division's recommendations: find Michael Brown in violation of CRS 34, 32.5, 109, paren 1 for failure to first obtain a reclamation permit from the Mineland Reclamation Board before engaging in a new mining operation. For corrective actions, the division recommends the board require Michael Brown to file a reclamation permit application within 90 days of the effective date of the board order and obtain approval of the application within statutory deadlines. Pursuant to CRS 34, 32.5, 123, paren 1, issue a cease and desist order prohibiting any further mining activity except those activities approved by the division in writing until the corrective action has been resolved to the satisfaction of the division. For civil penalty, pursuant to CRS 34, 32.5, 123.2, an operator who operates without a permit shall be subject to a civil penalty of not less than $1,000 per day, nor more than $5,000 per day each day the land has been affected, not to exceed 365 days. Pursuant to CRS 34, 32.5, 123.4, the board shall also assess a civil penalty in the amount not less than the amount necessary to cover the costs incurred by the division in investigating the alleged violation. In this matter, the board may find up to 37 days of violation, going from the date of the RTB letter to today, resulting in a range of civil penalty not less than $37,000 and not more than $185,000. The board may suspend a portion of the civil penalty to encourage timely compliance with the corrective action, as well as compliance with the Act, rules, and regulations. For the division's recommendation, find Michael Brown in violation for 37 days and assess a civil penalty for $1,000 per day for a total civil penalty of $37,000. In addition, assess a civil penalty to cover the costs incurred by the division at a rate of $56.64 per hour for 6 hours, totaling $339.84. The division recommends assessing a total civil penalty of $37,339.84, with all but $1,339.84 suspended if the operator complies with the corrective actions. With that, I can open up any questions. I did indicate that Michael Brown was not going to be in attendance today at the start of this matter, as well as his consultant, Art Braun. So Mike had called me up a couple weeks back and had indicated that he wasn't going to be here, but he was working on filing the permit application to cover this. It'd be a 110C. He's contracted with Art Braun, with Braun Environmental, to prepare that. And just yesterday, I spoke with Mr. Braun, and he sent myself and the board an email indicating that He has started working on that application. They're hoping to gain compliance with the division's recommendations pretty quickly here. Probably will submit that at the beginning of the new year.
Thanks, Elliot. Just a quick question. I mean, and this slide right here is good. I mean, those kind of look like some wetland type areas too, right there. Is that secured now? I mean, I'm sure he's not probably doing any extraction activities at the moment. He sounds like he's being pretty compliant, but just runoff, all that stuff.
Yep, definitely. I observed that in the field as well, and I actually had indicated to Mr. Brown that it may be a good idea to install silt fencing or wattles or some sort of contour ditching around the south side of those slopes, just because of the proximity to the wetland there. And then that would also factor into the review of this permit as well about stormwater control and minimizing or preventing impacts to offsite areas. So that would definitely be an area of concern. I am not sure if that of the status of that. I can check in and contact Mr. Brown about that.
Okay, thank you.
So I have a question, and I'm not sure if this is the exact time for the discussion, but it's part of this. And I guess my question is, if if I were going to do something and I just needed a grading permit, or I went to the county and asked for a grading permit or whatever, what is the real definition that he took material off site, that for other uses? Or, I mean, if you just wanted to grade a pad for a building, would that be considered mining? Is it a volume question? I don't know. Maybe I just need a little education on kind of the difference between just getting a grading plan for a building permit versus something like this.
For sure, and I can handle that question unless if anybody in the board room wants to chime in. But essentially, if material is leaving the site, the board has historically taken that as introducing the construction material into the market, and therefore a reclamation permit is required. In Mr. Brown's case here, he had indicated that it was going to take him quite a while to construct this pad. The division did create a specialized reclamation permit just a few years ago called the 111-1B, which is an incidental material permit. Whereas if you were building a building pad and you were going to generate excess construction material and you wanted to sell or give that away, you could obtain this special permit. However, it requires you to conclude your activities in 1 year. It is a little bit more streamlined. It matches the process with the 111 permits, which are our government highway projects. So it's streamlined. It's faster. Noticing and comment periods and all that. So that discussion was had with Mr. Brown. He wasn't going to be able to do that, so he was more interested in obtaining the 110C. But you are correct about if you're just building a pad on the site, or if you're digging a pond and all that material staying on site, that our jurisdiction wouldn't cover that operation. That would be normal landowner activities. It'd be the when that material gets introduced into the market, is my understanding.
Any other questions or discussion?
No, I just think, this is Patrick. It seems like he's been amenable to working with staff and kind of got some education on, what to do for the future if he's doing similar activity on this parcel. So yeah, I think this all seems pretty straightforward moving forward.
Would anyone like to entertain a motion here?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
I move that we find Michael Brown in violation of CRS 34-32.5-109 parent 1 for failure to obtain a reclamation permit from the Mineland Reclamation Board before engaging in a new mining operation. Secondly, require Michael Brown to file a reclamation permit within 90 days of the effective date of the board order and obtain approval of the application within statutory deadlines. Issue a cease and desist order pursuant to CRS 34-32.5-123 parent 1, prohibiting any further mining activity except those activities approved by the division in writing until the corrective action has been resolved to the satisfaction of the division. And lastly, impose a civil penalty of the amount of $37,339.84 pursuant to CRS 34-32.5-123 parent 2, and suspend all except $1,339.84 if the operator complies with the corrective action.
Thanks, Patrick. Second from anyone?
Second,
Mr. Mock? Okay.
sure. Yep, yes.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Seeing none, the motion passes in the case of file number M-2023-031. Thank you so much, Elliot, for that presentation.
Thank you.
All right, moving along here. Item number 7. Michael Cunningham will be taking care of this one. This is an enforcement hearing with Colorado Legacy Land LLC. File number M-1977-300. Looks like we also have Mr. Harrington and possibly one other on the line here. So anyone who intends to testify, please swear to tell the truth.
Yes.
I swear to tell the truth.
Swear to tell the truth. Okay. Ms. Jessen, are you also testifying or are you just listening?
I'm just listening in. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Michael Cunningham, I'll be representing the division in this enforcement hearing for the Schwarzwalder mine operated by Colorado Legacy Land LLC, file number M-1977-300. This matter has come before the board today for consideration of a possible violation, permit revocation, finding the financial warranty subject to forfeiture, and/or finding the financial warranty has been impaired for failure to maintain the financial warranty in good standing for the entire life of the permit, forfeiture of the financial warranty, and failure to comply with the conditions of an order, permit, or regulation. So for this morning's discussion, we don't have a PowerPoint prepared in the board's packet. We have presented the stipulated settlement agreement between the division and Colorado Legacy Land. The stipulated agreement, we did our best to walk the board through all of the background facts on this. And so for this morning, I think I'm going to go ahead and just point out some of the key elements in this agreement, and then we'll be happy to take questions from the board. So as the board may recall, the Schwarzwalder mine is located in Jefferson County. It's operated under a 112 D2 designated mining operation permit. It's permitted for 76 acres, and the commodity that was mined out there was uranium. The site operated from 1977 into the year 2000, and it has been in various stages of reclamation since that time. On or around October of 2017, the permit was transferred from Cotter Corporation to Colorado Legacy Lands through a succession of operator. And at that time, they replaced the existing financial warranty of $4.3 million. That was replaced with a warranty in the amount of $8.9 million, some of which was subsequently released due to reclamation work performed. And specifically, that was surface reclamation that was completed. So the primary activities that have been occurring out there since the year 2000 and really since CLL took the site over were focusing on completing surface reclamation as well as treating water out there, which is the primary activity occurring. Again, just for some background, the Schwarzwalder mine is an underground mine with a rather large mine pool. That mine pool will eventually, if not pumped and treated, start to discharge into Ralston Creek. Ralston Creek flows into Ralston Reservoir, which serves drinking water supply for the cities of Denver and Arvada. So again, the main activity that's been occurring out there is the treatment of water through an on-site water treatment plant using reverse osmosis. That water treatment plant, as the board may recall in some of our prior discussions, is operated on a seasonal basis. It's typically coming, the last few years has been coming online about May, and then it is shut down for the season in October. Colorado Legacy Land did operate the water treatment plant for the duration of the 2023 treatment season, and they concluded their operations at the end of October. So during the off season, what's occurring up there is the mine pool is slowly refilling, and during normal operations, we have to track that and ensure that that water treatment plant is brought online early enough to prevent that water from rising above the permit condition that's been set on this, which is a specific level that is located 150 feet below what we call the Steve level portal on that property. Based on the anticipated rate of refill, the division expects that we will exceed that permit limit sometime in June of 2024. And therefore, that plant needs to be reactivated no later than May of next year. To kind of take the board back to the beginning of the year, on February 15th, the division received verbal notification from Colorado Legacy Land that they would not be able to fulfill their financial obligations to operate the water treatment plant at the Schwarzwälder mine. So following that notification, we had a number of meetings with the operator, as well as Hanover Insurance Company, the financial warrantor for this operation. And we were able to reach an agreement, and the parties entered into an MOU that allowed additional funding for CLL to operate through this season. And in part, embedded in the MOU was discussions about trying to find alternate sources of funding and or establishing a fund that would allow for the continued generation of monies used to operate this water treatment plant. As I noted, the plant was operated throughout this season successfully. And when we got to the end of the season, we again met with CLL, and we were again informed that they did not have the funds to reactivate this site in 2024, which in part brings us to where we're at today. So the division, of course, never wants to be in a position where we are revoking and forfeiting a permit and a financial warranty. The structure of these permits is such that operators should be completing reclamation out there at the site. Only in the event of a worst case scenario, such as we find ourselves here, will the division take that financial warranty and use it to complete reclamation. So this is not a position we wanted to be in, but nor is it a position I think our operator wanted to be in either. Despite their financial situation and some difficulties that we had this season, the operator made good faith efforts in meeting with us at the beginning of the year to try to find a solution to continue to operate out there. Unfortunately, they were not able to do that. They're present today and can speak a little bit more about that. And so in our most recent discussions, we made it clear that due to the timing of this, we needed to move forward to permit revocation and financial warranty forfeiture, in part because it's a unique project. This will be the first time the division is operating a water treatment plant through a revoked site. And we take that responsibility very seriously, and we want to make sure that we get it right. So part of what occurred this year was our Inactive Mines program had accompanied me on inspections to get a better handle on the site, to understand how the water treatment plant operated, and to make sure they were prepared to run the site when the time came. And in order to move forward, we have to get through the revocation forfeiture process in order for the Inactive Mines program to be able to put out an RFP for bid on this. So this is the step one, and timing is critical that we do that, and we move through the next couple months in a timely manner to ensure that when May comes, or if not sooner, we're ready to get on site and start operating this water treatment facility, and we're confident that we can do that. So within the stipulated agreement that's a part of this board package. CLL is agreeing to the violation. They are agreeing to revocation of the permit and forfeiture of the financial warranty. The forfeiture of the financial warranty in this site will be in the amount, pardon me, $7,274,022. And so that's the amount that we will have available to the Inactive Mines program to complete surface reclamation out there. There is some minimal work that needs to be done, including removal of waste rock that had historically been placed on the valley floor, consolidating that into a waste rock pile, capping that, replacing topsoil grading, establishing vegetation on that valley floor. And then the long-term activity that will continue out there for the foreseeable future will be the treatment of water. And so for the purpose of this hearing, what staff is asking the board to do is to adopt the stipulated agreement that has been signed by the division and Colorado Legacy Land, voluntarily revoking and forfeiting the permit and financial warranty for this site. With that, Jeff, do you have anything else you want to add? No. We're happy to take questions from the board. And again, I know the operator is present and would like to address the board today as well.
Any questions right now for the division?
It seems like there is not another option, but I am curious, do we think there are entities out there that will be able to take it on?
We can't say with any certainty.
Right.
What I can tell you is we've got some stakeholders involved as it relates to the drinking water supply. City of Arvada and Denver Water. We've been in communication with them throughout this whole process. And we are certainly going to continue conversations after we get through this hearing and continue to see if there's opportunities for others to get involved. But right now, the answer is no.
And so the pumping is in perpetuity, or is there a long-term answer? The pumping and water cleaning.
The pumping is in perpetuity until or unless we can figure out a way to deal with that mine pool. But we are not aware of any easily implemented technical solutions for something like a mine pool. These pose a significant long-term challenge in terms of managing water at these sites.
So Michael, you mentioned that the operator or that they ran this plant successfully this season. Where is the level below the pool? I mean, what just could you give us that number, because it's kind of in our heads?
Absolutely. I might ask the operator, Jim, if he has that value. I believe the last time we had a figure was from the end of October. So I don't know that I've got an up-to-date level on that.
Yeah, the last I had heard in early December was 255 feet below the Steve. So more than 100 feet of water storage. It refills at approximately half a foot per day through the wintertime.
Thank you.
And just to clarify too, like that accelerates come springtime, and that's why timing and urgency is so pertinent here.
Well, I'll respond, and certainly Jim chime in as well. I think, we obviously, when we hit the spring season, we've got snow melt, increased runoff. I don't know that has a significant impact on the rate of refill. We will see some differences, but I think that refill rate is fairly steady state throughout the seasons.
Okay, thanks.
That's correct.
To supplement that answer, this is Jeff Huey with the Attorney General's office. Some of the timing here is also driven by the process involved in hiring a consultant to go out and do this work. There is a government process that goes through the procurement process, which is not as quick as it is in the private sector.
Makes sense. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Mr. Harrington, did you have anything else you wanted to add to this discussion? The operator?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair and board members. I do want to give a little bit of a historical perspective since I've been working on the site for more than 10 years, initially for Cotter in trying to first pump the mine pool down when it was flowing into Ralston Creek. And then as the operator for the last almost 6 years. I think the couple of important points, I do want you to understand that when we negotiated the deal with Cotter, we believe that approximately 50,000 cubic yards of material would be picked up from the valley floor and placed back into the Schwarzwälder mine. As of today, we've picked up more than 120,000 yards of material. So it's been substantially different and additional reclamation effort than we initially anticipated. And in addition to that, we spent a lot of effort attempting to find ways to see if we could solve the in situ treatment of the mine pool in such a way that the long-term requirements for water treatment wouldn't be required. We made a number of good faith efforts to determine ways that uranium could be treated in situ, but never to a level that would allow an off-ramp. And so the effort to continue in situ treatment proved to be, in the end, a waste of money. And so I do want you to understand that it's not for a lack of trying with the very best science we had to try to determine a way to avoid long-term or perpetual water treatment. I do want to also emphasize that we have been working closely with the division to illustrate some means for financial management of the funds that are going to be called as a result of this action. And we do believe that there is an environmental trust alternative that I hope that the division and the board ultimately consider that could yield more than $400,000 a year on the corpus of the bond funds that are being called, and that could represent a long-term funding source for the management of the mine water treatment at the site. As we know, people that work in this industry, the need for perpetual water treatment is an unfortunate impact of many mining activities. And this site is one that we had considered that there was ways to potentially avoid by utilizing treatment within the mine workings. And in the end, that proved to not be a tenable process to avoid the perpetual water treatment. And so I do encourage both the division and the board to consider the use of higher yielding financial structures, such as environmental trusts, that could preserve the corpus of the funds and avoid the need for taxpayer funding for this plant. I do want to emphasize again, we have worked closely and cooperatively with the division along the way. As Mr. Cunningham stated, there's considerably more reclamation bond in place now as a result of the transfer than Cotter had when they were working at the site. And I do believe that appropriately managed, this funding can be a sufficient long-term management for the site. I maybe have a couple other small statements to make. We are through this action no longer going to be the operator here. However, I do want to emphasize that we will continue to act cooperatively in the future to the extent that the division can utilize that assistance in making sure that the treatment process moving forward is taken over smoothly. And I want to emphasize that this is not through any lack of trying on my part, but it really comes down to the funds that we received have been exhausted in the reclamation work, and all of our efforts to determine ways to treat water there at the site have not proven successful to avoid perpetual treatment. And I'm happy to take questions if there are any.
Thank you, Mr. Harrington. Any questions from the board or the division? Mr. Cunningham, this environmental trust that is suggested, is that conversation outside of the initial request currently on the table for just the adoption of the stipulated agreement? Is that anything that plays into this conversation here right now?
It does not play into the conversation, but we have been engaged in those conversations with Jim over the past several months. We have run into some challenges in terms of setting that up. But it's not something that we're done looking at. And Jeff, I don't know if you have anything else to add.
Just a little bit to add. The trust fund concept proved to be a little complicated when we're dealing with state agencies and some of the sideboards that we're working within. I do want to make sure that the board is aware that the division and the department are going to continue to look at long-term funding sources, whether that's a trust fund, whether it's something similar to a trust, or something completely different. The focus of the division, once they have a contractor up on site managing the water in 2024, is to turn attention to what can be done to stretch the forfeited bond money as far as possible, recognizing this is a perpetual treatment situation. The funds are not enough to run in perpetuity. And so we'll continue to look into options to make sure that this money is utilized effectively to cover longer term than the 20-year term that was initially based on.
Okay, thank you. That helps. I wanted to make sure that nothing about the stipulated agreement precluded you all from trying to find creative sources. I know that that's not generally how, financial warranties work and where the funds go. Okay, but yeah, that right now the time is of the essence with this RFP process to get that moving along. Any other questions from the board for the operator, or things that came up with the division you want to clarify? Okay. Would anyone like to entertain a motion?
Madam Chair, Tim Mock here. I would move that the board approve, adopt the stipulated agreement between the Division of Reclamation, Mining, and Safety in Colorado Land Legacy and the Hanover Insurance Company that was signed and dated December 7th, 2023 by Colorado Legacy Lands.
Second, this is Patrick.
Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign? Okay, hearing none, the motion passes and the adoption of the stipulated agreement. I know this is a very complex issue, but I do appreciate the operator being here and the division continuing to work on this one. And you all have done a good job of keeping the board apprised of this, even if it hasn't been an official matter that we had to deal with it each month, just kind of keeping us in the loop. And I'm sure that will continue as this progresses. So.
Absolutely. We'll plan on giving an update to the board next year to let you know how things are progressing.
Yeah, please. Thank you. Okay, do we have anything in the terms of the discussion items or anything educational? Michael, I might direct that question to you. You're aware of anything?
No, nothing for this month.
Okay. I don't see anyone else on the line, but can you confirm that we do not have anyone here for public comment?
Nope, nobody for public comment.
And we do not have a reason to go into executive session. Is that correct as well, Chuck?
Yeah, that's right. No updates for the board right now. Maybe next month.
Okay, thanks. Well, with that, I want to wish everyone a safe and happy holidays and a happy 2024. We'll see everyone in January. And thank you again for your commitment to this process, and have a great rest of your December. So we will adjourn the meeting. Thank you,
Thanks, all.
Everybody.
everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Happy holidays. Take care.
Thank you. Happy holidays.